Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl. Kayleen is standing by with your forecast. We begin with what you're all talking about out there. The world this morning is remembering the Queen of Country. Dolly Parton died yesterday in Nashville at the age of 80. She had spoken about a struggle with kidney stones just days ago. She shared an update with fans saying she was healing but still working. In a statement confirming her death, her publicist said Parton had faced a brief battle with cancer. Her career spans decades. She delivered 25 #1 country hits and was one of the first female artists to write most of her own material. She also appeared in movies and TV shows. In her later years, focused on her charity work, particularly child literacy. We'll have more coming up in entertainment news about her. That is, of course, Francois-Philippe Champagne for some reason. We begin with news with tariff talk, as usual, and Saskatchewan's manufacturers sifting through the details of yesterday's counter-tariff measures to see how or if they'll be impacted. Wayne Mantika reports.
Saskatchewan's Degelman Industries manufactures farm equipment at plants in Canada and in North Dakota. Supplies and product move back and forth between the two countries. Now Degelman is assessing how it may be impacted by American tariffs and Canadian counter-tariffs.
These new rounds of tariffs are nothing new to us in the sense that, we've been dealing with this for the last couple of years. So we're fairly familiar with how the process works. But as we get more information on this newest round, we're just going to have to do a little bit more homework to see what it affects outside of the current ones.
Canada has announced counter-tariffs on 700 U.S. products, along with a $7.5 billion aid package for Canadians. Degelman Industries believes it is better positioned than most logistically to avoid cost increases.
That's the thing about the tariffs is it doesn't affect everything that we do. It affects certain parts and certain materials, but a lot of our finished goods have been exempt for a while, and I don't believe these new ones will affect much more.
Premier Scott Moe has issued a statement offering support for the federal government's counter-tariffs. They will cover about $1.5 billion, or 11% of Saskatchewan's annual imports from the U.S. The Premier said, "We are analyzing the counter-tariff list closely and working with affected industries to determine its potential impact on jobs and consumer prices, while also reviewing the federal government's support measures." The Premier did not indicate whether any additional support is contemplated for Saskatchewan businesses and workers. He did say the ultimate goal is to get back to a free and fair trade relationship with the United States. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Meanwhile, Ottawa's supports include measures like expanding EI changes as well as expanding loan and grant applications.
I would say with the measures we're putting forward, this is really about supporting Canada, supporting worker communities and businesses.
There will also be money available to fund shovel-ready projects. Business owners say higher costs and an uncertain climate will be felt by consumers. A leading U.S. Democrat is suggesting the new tariffs won't be around for long.
I think it's a matter of days, if not weeks, at the latest, where he completely flips on this and then tries to save face. It will be all about saving face.
The tariffs that
was California Governor Gavin Newsom speaking on CTV News. Chief political correspondent Vashi Cabello's show Power Play. Now, Governor Newsom says President Donald Trump is facing pressure from Republicans over his tariffs, and the heat is being turned up with midterms coming in November. The governor also praised Ottawa's handling of the trade war for walking away from talks and looking long-term. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he's not ready to turn down the temperature.
Get back to the table and let's negotiate a fair deal.
In another round of appearances on U.S. networks, Premier Doug Ford admitted things got a little heated and personal with President Trump. A day earlier, Premier Ford called the U.S. president a loser and a dictator, amongst other things, during a news conference. While he struck a friendlier tone on U.S. television, Premier Ford wasn't backing down at the Ontario legislature. When asked if his comments went too far, he said, "Not at all." Saskatchewan's Court of Appeal has overturned a lower court decision that prevented a $25 million class action lawsuit against a Saskatoon church and private school from going ahead. In June of 2025, a Court of King's Bench judge stayed lawsuits against Mile 2 Church and its associated private Christian school, formerly known as Legacy Christian Academy. The lawsuit against 22 defendants alleged systemic abuse of students at the church and school. The judge stayed the case, saying there was an abusive process because the plaintiffs failed to immediately disclose settlement agreements with the 3 defendants. On Tuesday, the Court of Appeal ruled the case can proceed, stating an abuse of power did not occur. The head of Instagram will take the witness stand for a second day today at the social media addiction trial against Meta. Yesterday, Adam Masuri denied hiding information from the public about safety of the popular social media app. He also was questioned about his regular public speaking engagements and whether part of his job was to help humanize Instagram. California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey have all accused Meta of designing the platform to hook young users, fueling anxiety and depression. And all 29 states say Meta violated federal law by improperly collecting and using personal data of children under 13 while they used the platforms. A Saskatoon microbrewery is using science in the brewing process, finding new ways to repurpose the waste and sharing their knowledge with others. The brewery's 3 founders, all scientists at the Canadian Light Source, are studying their ingredients closely. The brewer's philosophy is know your beer, with a focus on transparency and a desire to share their findings with others. It publishes its recipes and brewing processes online while working to source more ingredients locally. That includes barley malt with Saskatchewan-grown hops also on the way. They're also determined to see if the brewing waste can be repurposed into something useful.
As you brew, you're converting the starches to sugars, and those are being extracted. And you're kind of left with the hull, and there should be proteins, so you should be fortifying some of these things. And we want to know, is that true? Is that actually happening? And do you even want to, eat this stuff?
Using the synchrotron at the Canadian Light Source, the team hopes to learn if they can turn the spent barley grain into nutritious flour for bread, pasta, or pizza dough. How about that? Canada will take on Japan today after pulling off an upset over South Korea at the Little League World Series.
1-2. Got him! Canada's underdog story continues.
Canada, represented by Vancouver's Little Mountain, scored 4 runs in the first and never looked back. They ended up winning with a 5-1 score over the heavily favored teams from South Korea. Canada was coming off another upset over Panama on Monday. They're on fire with the spot in the quarterfinals booked. This is the farthest Canada has ever gone at the Little League World Series. Congratulations to all those young athletes. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky, what's the weather forecast look like today?
Well, we are talking about really nice temperatures today, low wind speeds. What we are concerned about today is actually the air quality once again. We are now seeing that the air quality health index is showing a moderate risk. Down south today, not so bad. Up north, interesting enough, 7 degrees though, so we are seeing some cooler temperatures. The hot spot this hour is actually Buffalo Narrows. The cold spot is Key Lake, only sitting at about 1 degree to start the day. We are seeing quite a bit of sunshine right now, a little bit of fog in the air. 9 degrees in Saskatoon, winds currently coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at those air quality statements that are currently in effect. So we're seeing them down south around Swift Current, Maple Creek, Assiniboia, and through Regina. Now, Regina and Saskatoon, though, today the air quality health index is both sitting, for both cities, sitting at a 4. That is considered a moderate risk. So yet again, even if you are not living in one of those areas that is currently under that official statement, we are still concerned about that air quality health index if you're living in central or southern Saskatchewan today. Futurecasts, though, showing we're not concerned about any sort of precipitation really today. Things are looking very clear. Mix of sun and cloud for some places into the later parts of the day. But again, not really talking about any active weather. We are seeing it moving in for Thursday later on in the day, likely about 5 p.m. What you're looking at on your screen there is 8:45 p.m. So we are seeing the risk of some thunderstorm activity. Overnight into the early morning hours on Friday, we do have a chance of seeing some rain in Saskatoon and Regina, as well as the Parkland region, and down through Estevan. Again, though, that's Friday morning into Friday afternoon. We're not really seeing much throughout central and southern Saskatchewan, just seeing some of that rain still falling far up north. Now today for temperatures, we're looking warmer the closer you are to the Alberta border, but even if you are waking up with us to the east, temperatures are still going to be above that average. A reminder that the average is falling as we are crawling towards autumn. So the average is about 23 degrees. So all these numbers we are seeing are still above that average. 28 degrees though for the Battlefords today, 29 in Swift Current, 28 in Moose Jaw, 26 for both Saskatoon and Regina today, 28 in Weyburn, 26 in Estevan, and 24 in Yorkton, as well as 26 up through Prince Albert. Varying levels of cloud, but still it really is going to be a very sunny day. Again, the only thing that we are really concerned about today is that air quality health index.
A new study has made an alarming finding in the NFL. At least 1 in 4 players who died between 2016 and 2021 had the brain disease known as CTE. The study is published in the British Medical Journal. It found that of these 878 players who appeared in at least one NFL game and died in that 6-year period, at least 25% had CTE. The degenerative disease can be diagnosed only after death, so most research has depended on brains donated by players or their families. The NFL's Players Association says the study is a sobering reminder that football carries real risks, and those risks can have lasting consequences for players and their families. On Saturday, closer to home, a non-for-profit made its first appearance at I Love Regina Day. The Period Network, a local initiative just under 2 months old, looking to provide better access for menstrual products in the city.
The more that we provide education and the more that we engage in these conversations, in particular with men, I think they are starting to understand sort of the implications of what it means to be somebody who menstruates, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally as well. And so we've had a lot of men have conversations with us about, you know, what their partners are going through or what their daughters are potentially going to go through. We've also had a lot of parents reach out to us in terms of providing some education in terms of what their children are going to go through.
So far, they've distributed around 50 packages and will look to donate hundreds of them to the Al Ritchie Heritage Community Health Center in September.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, in case you missed it, this is just one of the many voices you'll hear at this year's Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame. City in Color, Our Lady Peace, and Amanda Marshall have been announced as the performers for the big night. The induction ceremony will be held September 26th at Toronto's Massey Hall. The Tragically Hip and Feist are among the artists being inducted. It will be hosted by George Strombolopoulos and Marie Mai.
Oh, fabulous. I've never seen Dallas Green and City in Color. Have you?
No, I've
They're
never
supposed to be so good.
Yeah, no, that's on my list. I've never seen them.
Oh, we got a long list we're going to formulate today in our question of the day. We will start by saying poor producer Nathan, because he took up the task of putting together all of these answers.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, we had a little debate after the show yesterday when we were picking today's question of the day, because it is National Dog Day. So
which,
of course,
celebrate accordingly.
We want to see everybody's dog photos. Tell us about your pup. It is always a very popular question of the day, so we probably won't get through every single photo we get sent today. So make sure you're sending us the cutest photo that you have. It is a competition.
But our text line and all those things, we can't just drag and drop it into our system. So he has to do some fancy finagling behind the scenes. So get those in early, get them in right away, and we are going to talk more on the other side of this short break. The City of Regina is hoping to boost infill development with a new incentive to support housing development in established neighborhoods by providing city-owned vacant land to support affordable housing below market price. It also waives certain fees for developers hoping to build in the city's core and north central.
We are starting to see a bit of a transition in some of the areas. We're excited about the housing land bank and what it potentially may mean in North Central. But overall, I think we're encouraged. I think that the city is starting to get ready for being more open to the infill development.
Last year, over 450 infill development building approvals were issued by the City of Regina. Monette Farms is now facing a potential issue with its crop insurance as it continues working through financial difficulties. In an affidavit earlier this month, Monette outlined that the Saskatchewan Crop Insurance Corporation identified an overpayment of $1.9 million through an audit of the operation's 2023-24 insurance payouts. SCIC says the overpayment must be repaid in order to maintain this year's coverage, with Monette distributing the issuer's position and exploring whether it can terminate the coverage while the farming group is under creditor protection. We turn our attention to Mike Siona. Where do we find you today, sir?
Well, we're standing here in Kiwanis Park in Saskatoon ahead of one of the signature events in Saskatchewan, Ukrainian Day in the Park, which is on Saturday. And it's the 25th edition of Ukrainian Day in the Park here in Saskatoon. I'm joined by Caitlin Putz on the board of directors here and the marketing chair of this wonderful event. Tell us about what's coming here on Saturday.
Yeah, on Saturday we're going to have lots of performers here, 11 to 5. Yeah, we're going to have a band. Hootsel Drive is coming from Regina. We have lots of food vendors, lots of Ukrainian vendors as well, so you can purchase your vyshyvanka and many other fun Ukrainian things.
Yeah, and would you believe we didn't even coordinate that we were both going to wear them? We just showed up dressed the same. So it's kind of cool. It is a little tongue-in-cheek, but it really is a celebration of what being Ukrainian in Canada is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're celebrating 35 years of Ukraine's independence and 25 years of Ukrainian Day in the Park as a festival, and we're super excited to share with all you guys.
I love that. Now, we have to talk about the food because that's a very central part to the culture. There'll be vendors, pirahea, holopsy, all of it.
Yeah, of course. There's going to be many food vendors here, lots of Ukrainian treats and meals, food, of course, drinks. Yeah, it'll be super fun.
And it's for everybody. I mean, obviously, if you are of Ukrainian descent or heritage, you're likely already well aware, but it's a great opportunity for everybody to come together.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's welcome. It's a family-friendly event. We'll have lots of kids' activities and lots of fun for the adults as well.
There you go. Well, it is here in the shadows of the Bessborough Hotel on Saturday, UkrainianDayInThePark.ca. They've also got some social media channels that you can get all of the details, but plan to attend this Saturday right downtown.
Mike, I got to say, I'm as a proud Norwegian, I like to fly the flag. Nobody is prouder to be Ukrainian than you are, so thank you for wearing the cultural outfit today, and we'll check it back in with you in about an hour.
All right, let's take a look at our national forecast. A hot day in Prince George, up to 29. Cooler through Vancouver, though, 22 degrees. Calgary, though, 30 degrees today and 29 in Edmonton with a lot of sunshine after the past few days with a lot of rain. Winnipeg today, 24 degrees, mainly sunny skies. Also seeing a break from that rain that they have been seeing this week. Toronto, 24 degrees. Ottawa up to 26. Also seeing a high of 26. Montreal today. Fredericton, a little warmer, up to 27. Some rain over in Halifax with that high of 26 degrees. And a high of 22 degrees in St. John's today with mainly sunny skies. As we go to break, here is a look at your gas prices. Your average price is $176.9, but the lowest you can find has gone down today. It's at $138.9. In Saskatoon, your average $169.9. You could find it for as low as $147.9. In the farm markets, the street price of canola is at $737.75 per ton. The futures price $770.60 per ton. Amber Durum wheat at $276.15 per ton. Red spring wheat $288.26 per ton, and the Canadian dollar is up today. It's now at 72.26 cents US. Coming up in about 15 minutes, no spoilers, but we will be chatting with the latest eliminated team from Amazing Race Canada. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Your Morning. It is 6:30. Here's what's making news. A Saskatoon man says a walk home after celebrating his birthday turned into a violent attack. Ross Smith says he and a friend were walking downtown early Saturday morning after going out for some birthday drinks when a group of people bear sprayed them near Spadina Crescent East and 20th Street East. You can see the damages. His friend ran to get help, but Smith was unable to get away. He said the group beat him up pretty bad. He believes he lost consciousness after a couple of minutes. He was later taken to hospital with bruising to his arms, legs, and ribs. He also received some staples you just saw for a gash on the back of his head and a black eye as well. Smith says he's sharing this experience to warn others.
Be wary and keep an eye when you're out there, because I didn't expect anything like this to happen in this city.
A 17-year-old boy has been charged with 2 counts of assault with a weapon, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession of a weapon. A 15-year-old boy, by the way, also charged with obstruction of a police officer and breaching court-imposed conditions. The 2 accused scheduled to be in court September 16th. Contract negotiations continue to affect the province's largest healthcare unions. The largest healthcare union is QP Local 5430, which represents 14,000 people. And 11,000 people represented by SEIU West have been working in healthcare settings without a contract since March of 2023. They're not alone. The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses and the Health Sciences Association of Saskatchewan had their contracts run out in 2024. At a rally in Saskatoon yesterday, these workers say the long negotiations are impacting healthcare across Saskatchewan.
People are frustrated. 4.5 years without a pay increase, 3.5 years without a contract, and the fact that we're still at the bargaining table, it's becoming more and more frustrating for healthcare workers.
The Saskatchewan Association of Health Organizations, whose bargains on behalf of the province, says it remains committed to constructive bargaining and achieving outcomes that support employees. The Saskatchewan NDP is reacting to a recent drug bust by Regina Police. The bust was a result of a 3-month investigation. We told you about that and spoke about it with the police chief on this show. It says the police seized around 1.5 kilos of processed fentanyl and about 900 grams of methamphetamine, more than $25,000 in Canadian cash, too. The provincial NDP spoke on Tuesday about Regina's addiction numbers in the month of July, saying that they are grateful for the hard work being put in by the police to keep drugs off the street.
There's lots of work going on behind the scenes with police and other first responders in trying to put an end to this crisis. In saying that, there is a lot of responsibility that lies at government's feet, too, in supporting the work that police are doing.
The NDP adding that they want to see the provincial government addressing needs like access to detox facilities and long-term beds. The provincial government did not provide CTV with a response on time for broadcast. 2 men are facing robbery and mischief charges after 2 different incidents this summer in Regina. On July 29th, the church on the 1300 block of 12th Avenue had its front doors and outside wall vandalized with spray paint. On August 19th, the man reported being assaulted and robbed on the 800 block of Victoria Avenue. Through investigation, it was determined 2 men were behind both incidents. A 25-year-old man was arrested on August 19th, a 24-year-old man on August 20th, and both have made their first appearances. A team of investigators with the Transportation Safety Board of Canada is being sent to the Rosetown area. The TSB says they are expected to arrive today to look into what it calls a small aircraft incident that happened near Rosetown. The agency has not released any information about what and when the incident happened or if anyone was injured. A rare copy of Treaty 6 is on display at Wanuskewin Heritage Park in Saskatoon. Behind the glass you're about to see is a copy of the treaty that was signed about 150 years ago. Treaty 6 established an agreement between the Crown and Indigenous groups outlining how to move forward together. The Crown promised land, education, hunting rights, agricultural benefits, and health care to Indigenous leaders and their people. This rare historic document is on loan from Flying Dust First Nation. It has been kept in a safety deposit box before Flying Dust leaders decided to put it out on public display.
I felt so connected to the document because it was my great-great-grandpa that had signed the document. So I was very proud, and to even go there when we go have.
Saskatchewan says the document offers visitors a chance to see a piece of history up close and reflect on its continuing significance. Prince Albert Grand Council hosted the opening ceremonies for the Summer Gatherings of Nations on Tuesday. The Grand Council says the Gathering of Nations brings together First Nations from across Prince Albert Grand Council territory to celebrate and share in culture, tradition, and community.
All the nations that make the Prince Albert Grand Council had their gatherings through the summer. So we wanted to make sure, after that we bring together towards the end of the summer season to come together, of course, and they show off the culture of the nations. That's why it's called a Nations Gathering.
Must be tall and she must be really short. The Gathering of Nations is a 4-day event and continues until Friday. Let's get over to the weather forecast. They at least had good temperatures for that yesterday, Kayleen.
Yeah, really nice temperatures, and that is continuing today. What also is going to be really nice today is that we're not seeing those elevated wind gusts that we were seeing for the past couple days. Monday, as we remember, we were seeing strong wind gusts through the southwest corner of the province. Yesterday, it was the southeast corner of the province's turn. Today, though, we're seeing elevated wind gusts over in parts of Alberta and Manitoba. Today in Saskatchewan, though, winds are going to be very low. We're not really seeing much getting past 25 kilometers per hour for those winds. So a nice calm day. What we're also talking about, though, is a lot more of that blue color through the province this morning. So it's a cooler start to the day. 3 degrees right now in Stony Rapids, 9 degrees in La Ronge, 6 degrees in South End, 7 in Prince Albert, and 9 degrees in Melfort. Where we are seeing warmer temperatures is Buffalo Narrows at 14 degrees. That has been our hotspot in the province this morning. 9 degrees in the Battlefords, 9 degrees in Saskatoon, 7 degrees through Regina and Weyburn, and 8 degrees through Estevan today. So hopefully throughout the morning we can watch this screen turn more green together instead of those blue colors. Into the afternoon, we are expecting some really nice temperatures, and we're going to talk about the averages in just a second when we flash to our almanac. But just keep these temperatures in mind because these are all above that seasonal average. Even Yorkton at 24 degrees. 26 this afternoon in Regina and Saskatoon, 27 in Weyburn, 28 in Moose Jaw, 29 in Swift Current, and 28 through the Battlefords as well. So really nice temperatures today. The average, as I mentioned, Regina 23.9. So the average continues to fall through Saskatchewan's major cities. 23.0 is the average in Saskatoon. Last year on this day, it was very warm. 31.0 in Regina and 29.4 in Saskatoon. The record-setting years have changed since yesterday. 1971 was the record-setting year for August 26th in Regina. That temperature was 35.6. And the record-setting year in Saskatoon was 1996. That was 34.4 degrees. Let's turn our attention now to our 7-day forecast. We do have some rain. Not exactly coming in, though, now until Sunday. Yesterday, we were saying we had the potential of seeing some of that on Saturday. Now we're seeing it mainly coming down on Sunday, and the risk of having thunderstorms in Regina has gone down, but temperatures are also going down on Sunday to about 23 degrees. In Saskatoon, we are seeing the chance of some rain now on Saturday, 27 though, so temperatures are still really nice on Saturday before falling for Sunday. A little bit more of that rain expected on Sunday with that high of 23.
Shayla, Cheyenne, you are the last team to arrive. I am sorry to tell you this, but you have been eliminated from the race.
I'd argue no team showed more perseverance, resilience than Team Shayla and Cheyenne. They brought it all to the Amazing Race Canada this season, a rivalry with another team, and endured 2 challenging face-offs, but it all came to an end last night. And we get a couple of minutes with them this morning. Ladies, thank you so much for doing this.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Any plans to take up table tennis or cricket anytime soon?
No, please no. Actually, funny enough, I did start real tennis lessons shortly after, so it inspired me in some ways and scarred me in others.
Those, of course, being the 2 face-offs. If you're not a viewer of the Amazing Race Canada, you should be. You can stream it on Crave right now. What do you watch this episode back and the series as it goes? Because this is, of course, all pre-recorded and edited and put to air. What did you learn when you watched these episodes back about your team and your race?
Oh my gosh, what did we learn about our team in our race? I feel like from watching, I don't know, watching it is kind of almost like watching like a home movie in a way of like these experiences that you've had. But I don't know, watching it, like I'm just so proud of like everything we were able to push through because, you know, Shayla and I we really were at like a disadvantage, especially for these challenges with the face-offs because we grew up super poor. Like, you know, our parents couldn't afford to put us in any sports or any kind of extracurricular activities. And we're competing against people who have ping pong tables in their homes and who have done competitive figure skating and all of these things from a really young age. But I think just like watching it and I always knew we had a strong sense of perseverance, but it was really cool to see how like truly at no point really in the race, like were we ever not having a good time, not having fun, not enjoying ourselves. Like we really did just treat it like this epic adventure.
That's just it. Every time we saw you on screen after something so severely devastating, really, to your race, you kind of put on a good, positive attitude and push forward and said, we can still do this. Is that kind of how you approach life, Shay?
Yeah, 100%. I think all throughout our life, from babies until our young adulthood, we have faced some really hard challenges. And I think that is some of the beauty in going through hard things is you do learn how to be strong. You do learn how to pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and keep it pushing.
Okay, the edit makes it look like you were fresh on the heels, right on the heels of the closest team. How close were you actually to staying in this race?
We honestly don't know. We have no idea where anybody is really at that point. It did seem like a close race, but I have no idea how people got all those fish so fast. That water was freezing. Those fish were slippery and disgusting. And I don't know how they cruised out of there, truly.
Who are you still close with in this race? Who are you friends with after it's all said and done?
Oh, a lot, honestly. Like, we're really, really close with Seb and Sasha. We talk to those boys pretty much every day. McKelly and Mateo were also another team that we were super close with throughout the race that the viewers didn't get to see. But honestly, we have a TARC Canada Season 12 group chat, and all of us are in touch every single day. Like, I just hung out with Maestro, like, the other day. We went to go to a concert together. We saw Biff Naked. Like, sweet. All of us keep in touch.
Yeah, I love all those guys.
Very quickly, before we let you go, why should somebody else sign up, somebody watching right now, to do this race, and what was unexpected on your end?
It's truly transforming and life-changing. We had no idea how it would affect our relationship as sisters, and it brought us together like so good. Like, we are so strong as sisters now. We are bonded forever.
That's good.
And it was the experience of a lifetime.
It really could have gone the other way, so that's really great. Ladies, we're fresh out of time. I really do appreciate your time. I'm so sorry. I'd love to keep going all day on this. You at home can watch The Amazing Race Canada every Tuesday night right here on CTV Saskatchewan, or stream it the next day on Crave.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Now we look back at the life and legacy of Dolly Parton, who left us at 80 years young yesterday. Here's Geneviève Beauchemin.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. With her outsized personality and hairdo, Dolly Parton lived her life in rhinestones. Just because I'm blonde, don't think I'm dumb. But down-to-earth empathy shone through in the music she brought to millions worldwide.
I don't think about my life in terms of superstar. I'm just a working girl. I always say, and it's the truth, that I am a workhorse that looks like a show horse.
Just days ago, she shared a health update with fans, saying she was dealing with issues and that even though she was healing, she was still working. Dolly Parton often said, as she did in song, that she was a country girl's version of glamour. She rose from poverty, the fourth of 12 children, her mother making clothes from rags, to riches, attaining glittering country music stardom and crossing genres. With her soprano voice, she delivered 25 #1 country hits. Many of them she had written herself. She was one of the first women stars to write much of her own material. In the 1970s, her star rose. She delivered movies like 9 to 5, TV shows, and more hits. She was a country star inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in later years focused on her charity work. Her husband, Carl Dean, died 17 months ago, a heartbreaking loss to Parton, who described their relationship as a great love story. Dolly Parton's nephew announced her death, as was her wish.
She wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest.
Parton once said she hoped people would see her brains beneath her hair, her heart beneath her chest. But many also say it was her humanity that touched so many, and that her legacy is far more than her music. She was 80 years old. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
It's August 26th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday wish going out to Winston, who is now 10 years old. Lots of love from your friends and family. Another belated birthday wish going out to Serenity. She is now a 1-year-old. We hope the day was a lot of fun celebrating with your family. Big happy birthday wishes going out to Laura. We hope your day is super special with lots of love from your son, Eric. And happy birthday wishes also going out to Chris. We hope you have a great day and a great year ahead. Here's a fun one. This beautiful couple, Louise and Brian, share a birthday. Happy birthday to you both, and you both have a lot of love and well wishes being sent your way today. And finally, our friend Donna from Cowessess sent in this beautiful photo to wish her husband a happy anniversary. It came with a message that reads, 31 years married, 100 years in love. Hope it's a great day for you too.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance. All right, let's check in with our friend Janelle Lepai, out soaking up the sun at Echo Valley Provincial Park. I'm looking at you right now and I'm thinking, are we getting into some activities, Janelle?
Oh, Kayleen, you better believe we're getting into some activities here. We are geared up and the morning is just beginning. So we've got a lot on the agenda for this morning. But first things first, I'm with Shelly McLean. We are talking all things e-bikes, scooters, safety for this time around, because that's obviously a very important part to enjoying the summer and getting a little bit of exercise in. Shelly, what do you guys use these e-bikes for?
So the e-bikes, Janelle, they're actually part of our maintenance fleet of vehicles. So we've had them for the past couple of years and our staff really love them. They're a nice alternative to jumping into a truck, having to utilize fuel. They utilize them for enforcement. So it's great. Our officers are able to connect with our customers, have those really great quality conversations, and they're not looking through a glass, through a window. Additionally, our maintenance staff, if they're doing like a quick task, they can hop on, grab their small tools, throw them in their saddlebags, and off they go, and they can help campers out. They're great.
This is fantastic. I love the idea of connecting. And of course, safety is very important, as you can see here. How can we be safe when we're using these e-bikes?
So it's really important. E-bikes they're wonderful. They're a lot of fun, but they certainly do go quite a bit faster than regular bikes. So the top speed of this bike is 32 kilometers per hour. There are age restrictions when operating e-bikes. So 14 years old in Saskatchewan is the age restriction. You must wear a helmet. You have to follow all the road signs, all the rules of the road, utilize your hand signals, just to make sure that you're safe, and drivers, of course, know what you're intending to do.
Absolutely. Very important to stay safe. Thank you so much for this information. Once again, if you are enjoying your time on these e-bikes, make sure you're helmeted up here just like I am. And of course, they go very fast. We were joking right before we started this interview that I would ride off into the sunrise after this was done. And then Shelly had mentioned they go 32 kilometers per hour. And I said, I don't know if that's for me.
You probably have a helmet look just like that, don't you, Chase, with the little cat ears?
Mine's a puppy.
Oh.
But yes, very, very similar.
What's going on the radio?
Well, as you would expect, it is all about Dolly Parton here today, as we lost an absolute legend yesterday with music, acting, philanthropy, just being an overall amazing person. So we're going to hear different artists, their reaction throughout it, some great stories about Dolly too, and maybe learning some things about her that we didn't know. Like, for example, 9 to 5, if you look on the album, it's Nails by Dolly played on it, all because, well, she had her acrylic nails and played that throughout the whole song. But just an absolute joy. We're going to be playing a lot of Dolly Parton here this morning to just remember an amazing person.
You gotta love that. I also appreciate your shirt. 8:15, we're going to learn a little bit more about that country jamboree you got on your...
Going to be a lot of fun. We'll be down there all day.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you. See you later.
We'll see you there.
Well, if you're looking for a way to calm down your baby, maybe hire these ones.
Oh, hire it out.
Laura and her grandmother are both professional singers, and when they perform, they put these two babies into a trance.
What is happening here? Why are these ladies doing this? This is very soothing.
I wish I could sing like that. Sometimes I'll try to sing Sadie a lullaby as she's going to bed, and I listen to my voice and go, oh no.
Aria has zero interest in me singing, and Mateo, I sang to sleep every night, Eric Church Springsteen, and I swear if he goes to a concert and he hits the first note of that song, Mateo's just gonna...
Oh, really? Yeah, for Sadie, it was You'll Be in My Heart.
Oh, yeah, the Phil Collins song.
Yeah.
That's right. Sometimes when you're exercising at home, you just need a little bit of moral support.
Hey, 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 come on, babe. Come on. Come on, babe. Push that. Push that.
This man decided to back up his fiancée by doing her pregnancy workouts right alongside her, and he really keeps the energy up.
I just have to say, at first, the setup of the TV and the stand there and everything on it looks kind of very similar to my house. So for a second, I was like, why are they in my living room?
It's just twerking, obviously. Twerking in robes.
I was like, what a weird video. Is this a prank?
We got one more.
Okay, do you ever spend so much on something you try really hard to get your money's worth?
Oh, gosh.
Says she broke the whole bank on her daughter's dance costume, so now she wears them around the house while doing chores just to make sure that they're not getting just that one-time use.
Okay.
And they are expensive as a former dancer.
I didn't understand it, now I do.
Yeah.
Let's just avoid that. We're back after this. It's Wednesday, August 26th.
It's all about fairness. It's all about level playing field. It's all about supporting Canadian workers.
Steel to dairy to seafood, Canada hitting hundreds of American products with counter tariffs in its escalating trade war with the U.S.
There's lots of work going on behind the scenes with police and other first responders in trying to put an end to this crisis.
The Saskatchewan NDP reacting to a recent drug bust by Regina police.
What did the football say when it got tired? I'm feeling a little deflated.
I can see where this is the battle you didn't know you needed. Trevor Harris and I locked in a dad joke duel. That's coming up at 7:40. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
You are going to groan the entire 4 minutes of Trevor Harris and I going back and forth, but he committed to the bit.
You know what? I have not watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But I'm kind
begrudgingly.
I'm kind of on Team Harris here.
He really did commit to the bit, and shout out to our camera operator and editor Rob. He did a great job putting that together. You can see that again 7:40, 7:01. Let's get to news. We begin with tariffs because that's our favorite word of the day, isn't it? Premier Scott Moe is expected to hold a news conference today about the Canada-U.S. trade dispute. In a written statement on Tuesday, the Premier said he supported Canada's counter tariffs. He called them focused and targeted. Local businesses like Regina's Degelman Industries say they are still assessing the impact of both American tariffs and the Canadian counter tariffs.
fact-finding mode at the moment as we pour through the documents. Our procurement team, they're working overtime. They're really well versed in all this, and as they unpack more, we'll know a little bit more about what it might affect on a granular level.
The counter tariffs will cover 11% of Saskatchewan's annual imports from the U.S., with the total value estimated at $1.5 billion. Meanwhile, Ottawa's support package includes measures like EI expansion and expanding loan and grant programs as well.
With the measures we're putting forward, this is really about supporting Canada, supporting worker communities and businesses.
There will also be money available to fund shovel-ready projects. Business owners say higher costs in an uncertain climate will be felt by consumers. A leading U.S. Democrat is suggesting the new tariffs won't be around for long.
I think it's a matter of days, if not weeks, at the latest, where he completely flips on this and then tries to save face. It will be all about saving face.
The tariffs that have been...
California Governor Gavin Newsom speaking with CTV News' chief political correspondent Vashi Capellos yesterday. Governor Newsom says President Donald Trump is facing increased pressure from Republicans over his tariffs, and that heat is being turned up with midterms coming in November. The governor praised Ottawa's handling of the trade war for walking away from talks and looking long-term. Ontario Premier Doug Ford said he's not ready to turn down the temperature.
The table and let's negotiate a fair deal.
In another round of appearances on U.S. networks, Premier Ford admitted things got a little heated and personal with President Trump. A day earlier, he called the U.S. president a loser and dictator, amongst other things, at a news conference. While he struck a friendlier tone on U.S. television, the Premier wasn't backing down at the Ontario legislature. When asked if his comments went too far, he said, quote, "Not at all." Contract negotiations continue to affect the province's largest healthcare unions. The largest healthcare union is QP Local 5430, which represents 14,000 people. And the 11,000 people represented by SEIU West working in healthcare settings have been without a contract since March of 2023. And they're not alone. The Saskatchewan Union of Nurses and the Health Sciences Association of Saskatchewan had their contracts run out in 2024. At a rally in Saskatoon yesterday, workers say it's impacting healthcare.
People are frustrated. 4.5 years without a pay increase, 3.5 years without a contract. And the fact that we're still at the bargaining table, it's becoming more and more frustrating for healthcare workers.
The Saskatchewan Association of Healthcare Organizations, who bargains on behalf of the province, says it remains committed to constructive bargaining and achieving outcomes that support employees. The Saskatchewan Health Authority says 2 new scanners operating in the province are providing better patient care. The first star-guided scanner was installed in April of 2025 at the Regina General, with the second unit introduced at Royal University Hospital this past January. The SHA says compared to older nuclear medicine machines, these new scanners produce higher quality, more detailed images, giving radiologists more reliable results in helping diagnose patients. The scanner is also quicker, with patients spending 20 to 30 minutes being assessed compared to an hour in the older machines. Since being installed, the technology has helped more than 2,800 patients, they say. The province spent $2.1 million on Regina's scanner. Irene and Leslie Dubé donated $2 million towards Saskatoon's. Saskatchewan's Court of Appeal has overturned a lower court decision that prevented a $25 million class action lawsuit at a Saskatoon church and private school from going ahead. In June of 2025, a Court of King's Bench judge stayed a lawsuit against Mile 2 Church and its associated private Christian school, which is formerly known as Legacy Christian Academy. The lawsuit against 22 defendants alleged systemic abuse of students at the school and church. The judge stayed the case, saying there was an abusive process because plaintiffs failed to immediately disclose settlement agreements with 3 defendants. On Tuesday, the Court of Appeal ruled the case can proceed, stating an abuse of power did not occur. The Saskatchewan NDP reacting this morning to a recent drug bust by Regina Police. It was a result of a 3-month investigation. We spoke about it on this show with the police chief. You can find that on our website. Police took 1.5 kilos of processed fentanyl, about 900 grams of methamphetamine, and 25 grand in cash off the streets. The provincial NDP spoke about the addictions number in July, saying they are grateful for the hard work by police keeping drugs off the streets.
There's lots of work going on behind the scenes with police and other first responders in trying to put an end to this crisis. In saying that, there is a lot of responsibility that lies at government's feet too in supporting the work that police are doing.
NDP adding they want to see the provincial government address things like access to detox centres and long-term care beds. Provincial government will provide a response, I'm sure, today. We turn now to the alarming new report on brain injuries in football. Sophie Flay reports.
A new warning about concussions as we head into football season. A new study finds that at least a quarter of all NFL players that died between 2016 and 2021 had chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, a progressive brain disease caused by repetitive head trauma.
It means that hundreds of current NFL players are at risk for developing this.
Among the more than 300 players' brains donated for research, 93% showed signs of the disease. CTE causes mental and behavioral issues and cognitive changes, but it cannot be diagnosed until after death. Injury concerns have already changed the way kids play the game. Many now wear guardian caps, a kind of protective padding on their helmets, and practices now feature far less contact.
Every contact that we have, or every contact period in our practice, has to be calculated, meaning we can't waste any repetitive blows to the head during a practice.
Guardian caps aren't just for young players. The NFL in 2024 approved the caps for use in games. Some players opted out, believing the new helmets are enough to protect them. The league has issued 6 new helmet models in recent years, designed to guard against concussions.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Canada will take on Japan today after pulling off an upset over South Korea at the Little League World Series.
1-2. Got him! Canada's underdog story continues.
Let's go. Canada, represented by Vancouver's Little Mountain, scored 4 runs in the first, never looked back, ended up winning 5-1 over the heavily favored South Koreans. Canada was coming off another upset over Panama on Monday, continue to roll with the spot booked in the quarterfinals. This is the furthest Canada, Kayleen, has ever gone at the Little League World Series.
Wow, huge congratulations to all of them.
Absolutely. What's going on in the forecast?
Things are pretty good to start the day. We are seeing a lot of sunshine, but what we're also concerned about today is the air quality. That's really the story of the day. Let's start with some current temperatures, though, before we get into all of that. 8 degrees, so we're still in those single-digit temps, not just here in Regina, but also in many places in the province. 4-kilometer-per-hour winds, so those are very calm. You're not really going to be noticing those today. Mix of sun and cloud, also seeing a little bit of fog in the air. 10 degrees, though, in Saskatoon, so we're now finally up into double digits there. Mainly sunny, though, and we are seeing winds coming in at 7 kilometers per hour. This is what we really want to pay attention, though, to this morning. So we do have those air quality statements currently in effect, not up north, but far down south. This is wildfire smoke still, but we are seeing a reduction in that air quality compared to yesterday when we were seeing everything around 2 to 3 on the air quality health index. That is considered a low risk. Now, those numbers are up to a 4 or 5 for many places down south today. So that is considered a moderate risk. Take special attention to that, especially if you are at risk. That includes people who are pregnant, young children, and of course seniors as well. Check in on your loved ones. Futurecast not showing a whole lot to start the day, just a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon today. Again, not really seeing any active precipitation. We do see a little bit moving through Thursday in the early afternoon, but what we're really talking about is the bigger systems coming through in the later part of the day, likely starting around 5 p.m. and then continuing on into the evening and overnight hours. It's going to be reaching Saskatoon and Regina early morning on Friday. What you're looking at is about 3 a.m. So you could be waking up to some very light rain on Friday morning in Saskatoon and Regina, and then as well through the Parkland region and down through Estevan later on in the morning. Into the afternoon, things are clearing up for many parts of the central and southern places in Saskatchewan, but up in the north, still seeing some of that rain falling. Today's forecast, though, with that sunshine, is going to be very warm. Again, keeping in mind that the average for this time of year is about 23 degrees. So 24 in Yorkton today, 26 for Regina, Saskatoon, Prince Albert, as well as Estevan, 27 in Weyburn today, 28 in Moose Jaw and the Battlefords, and 29 degrees in Swift Current. So a lot of sunshine. It is going to be a very beautiful day. Just keep in mind that we do have those air quality statements in effect down south. for a look at our rural forecast. And of course, we are seeing a sunny day on the way. Warmer temperatures to the west. 27 in Lloydminster, 29 in Kindersley, 28 in Outlook, 24 over in Wynyard, and 23 in Hudson Bay. Today, more sunshine down in the south. A high of 32 degrees for some areas in the southwest corner, including Leader and Maple Creek. Today, Rockland up to 28, 28 in Coronach, and 25 degrees over in Broadview. Let's take a look at Lipton, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 25 degrees this afternoon. We are seeing a mix of sun and cloud, also some smoke in the air, though, with very low wind speeds, only coming in between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour.
I always celebrate being a proud Norwegian Canadian, and Mike, nobody's prouder to be Ukrainian, I'm sure, than you are.
Well, we certainly try, that's for sure, Daryl. And the nice thing is, on Saturday, we all get an opportunity to be Ukrainian for the day. That's Ukrainian Day in the Park, right here in Saskatoon, in Kiwanis Park. And I'm joined by Andriy Bondar and Caitlin Putz of the organizing committee of this, a couple of other proud Ukrainian Canadians. And this is more than just a festival in a park, especially this year. Talk to me about that.
Yes, Mike, this year is very special for our community and Ukraine as well. Since 1991, we celebrate Ukraine's independence, which is this year is the 35th anniversary. And so it happens, it is 25th anniversary of Ukrainian Day in the Park. This year is also special because the provincial Saskatchewan government proclaimed September as the month of Ukrainian heritage. So at this event we'll kick off that celebration. The event is these events for community are very important in terms of supporting our dignity and all of our heritage, and showcase everything that we have to offer, the food and vendors and handmade pieces that you can buy and bring from here. But the main stage is also full of activities, from dance and singing and the band that we can offer. So to come into this event, you have one spot to enjoy everything that our community can offer. We will have many fundraisers for local organizations, for youth and children, and also fundraising for Ukraine, for some military aids or different type of supplies that we have. So again, coming to the event, you do support those good causes that we are organizing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There is tons going on. There's just 2 minutes, little tip of the iceberg, but it's going to be fantastic down here at Kiwanis Park on Saturday, Ukrainian Day in the Park, from 11 a.m. till about 6 p.m. It should be all wrapped up.
Looking sharp, Mike. Wear that on Saturday and bring your pre-signed 8x10s. I don't want you getting carpal tunnel or anything.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's go to mixed doubles action at the U.S. Open, featuring Gael Monfils, who is teaming up with his wife, Alina Svitolina. And look at the defense from the 39-year-old. He's gone from the screen. Here comes the tennis ball. Gets back into position and rips the forehand winner down the baseline. Gael taking a bow for that. Tennis fans are going to miss this Monfils magic, as the Frenchman is retiring at the end of the year. He and Svitolina won in 3 sets to advance to Wednesday's semifinal. And that is your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, the Tempo look to get back in the win column as they visit the league-worst Seattle Storm. Coverage begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
Getting closer and closer to my favorite stories of the year, which is when you grow the giant pumpkins, then you drop the giant pumpkins. Yes. But before that, we have a large food fight. Thank goodness they're not throwing pumpkins. These are tomatoes in Buñol, Spain, where La Tomatina Festival is at full swing. So this is about 150,000 kilograms of tomatoes tossed at each other. Started in 1940. It's become a huge tourist attraction. 20,000 people or so. It lasts for about an hour. Starts and ends with a cannon blast.
Would you?
And then a shower.
Would you go participate though?
As long as there's a nice shower. I mean, you're pretty close quarters, so I don't think you're getting hit too hard.
Yeah.
I hope. My luck, I'd get beamed in the eye. Question of the day, National Dog Day.
Yeah, and so we've started to have some photos coming into our inbox. Not as many as I thought, so we'll see what we get for the next hour.
Fire it up, people. You all have a puppy out there.
Yeah, Braden sent us this photo of this beautiful girl. This is Lily.
Okay.
Beautiful with the sun in the background. Another one here is Abby relaxing on the couch, coming to us from Bentley.
Bentley, thank you for sending that in. Rick sent us Bo, and this is a very handsome-looking gentleman.
Yes, a springador, he said, which I don't think I've ever heard of a springador. Maybe?
Must be fast and must jump high.
Yeah. Another one, we had Sherry sent us this good girl, Gabby, rocking that
little handkerchief. Disco's wearing one of those right now. Keisha enjoying some patio furniture. We're human. Get off. This is my spot.
This was sent in from Betty. What a beautiful pup. Oh, my goodness.
How about Gary? This is Rocket. Great name.
Yeah, really good name.
Great name.
I like that. That's
excited
really
for the car ride, as long as it's not to the vet.
And last but certainly not least, here's producer Nathan's dog. This is Sammy, his best girl and goofball.
That's not what he said the other day when the dog puked and made him late for work. We want to hear from you. Text your name, your picture, your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can email it to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. If you can't remember all of that, all you got to do is scan that QR code on your screen.
National Bank reporting profit that beat analyst estimates in all three of its main business lines. The company, Canada's sixth largest lender, has benefited from stronger loan growth in Quebec, as well as its acquisition of Canadian Western Bank, which was completed in February of last year and helped lift revenue. Alimentation Couche-Tard has announced an $8.7 billion takeover bid for Poland's biggest convenience store chain, the Zabka Group, officially launching the retail industry's second biggest acquisition this year. Couche-Tard CEO Alex Miller said last month that he expected pressure from Zabka shareholders to raise the bid, but remained confident about getting the deal done. Honda Executive VP Noriya Kaidahara says the Japanese automaker might not build an eighth assembly plant in North America unless the CUSMA trade deal is extended. Last year, Hyundai told the administration that uncertainty over CUSMA was delaying its investment decisions. And those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
National forecast. We're seeing a high of 29 degrees in Prince George today, 29 in Calgary, and 29 in Edmonton as well, 24 degrees through Winnipeg with mainly sunny skies. Over in Toronto today, 23 degrees, 26 in Ottawa, 26 in Montreal. Fredericton, mainly sunny with that high of 27. Some rain, though, over in Halifax, 26 degrees. And in St. John's, mainly sunny with that high of 21 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at your gas prices. Regina, your average price, $176.9. You could find it for as low as $138.9 today. In Saskatoon, your average price $169.9. You could find it for as low as $147.9. In the farm markets, the street price of canola is $737.75 per ton. The futures price $770.60 per ton. Amber Durum wheat $276.15 per ton. Red Spring wheat $288.26 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up today. It's now at 72.26 cents US. And when we return, a look at the life and legacy of Dolly Parton. Stay with us.
Gotta say good morning. We are coming up on 7:30 here on this beautiful Wednesday. And this morning, the world is remembering the queen of country music.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Just because
Great track. Dolly Parton died yesterday in Nashville at the age of 80. She had spoken about a struggle with kidney stones just days ago, sharing an update with fans saying she was healing but still working. In a statement confirming her death, her publicist said Parton had a brief battle with cancer. Her career spans decades. She delivered 25 #1 country hits and was one of the first female artists to write her own material, at least most of it. She also appeared in movies and TV shows. In later years, focused on charity work, particularly child literacy. She gave millions of children access to free books across 5 countries, even appeared on Your Morning nationally.
Inspires Dolly Parton's art?
Well, everything, because everything's always been a song to me. My mother's people were all very musical and all played instruments and would write, sing. But I just really fell in love with it and thought, I'm going to make this my business. I'm going to just not be a singer or anybody who sing. I'm going to make this a business for myself. This is going to be a lifestyle for me. That's why I never think of myself as a star. I always think of myself as a working girl because I'm always working, I'm always busy. And, you know, to me, the stardom thing, that doesn't mean anything, you know, to me. Oh, it means a lot that I've made it. To me, it just means that I've been successful at what my dreams were.
Tributes for Dolly Parton have been pouring in since news of her death. Sir Paul McCartney posted this photo and writes, "She was so bubbly and full of life. It is difficult to take in the news that she has passed. Her songwriting, her singing, and her philanthropy are also unrivaled in the world of country music, and it is hard to imagine living in a world without Dolly." Oprah Winfrey posted this, writing, "The girl from the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee dreamed of a life, then lived a life bigger than she could have even imagined, giving so generously to others in ways we saw and ways she didn't." And Eminem even posted this note from Dolly, congratulating him on being inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He writes, "I'm sorry we never got the chance to meet, but getting this note from Dolly really had an impact on me. Even for a kid who mostly listened to rap music, she was an icon." The city of Regina is hoping to boost infill development with a new incentive created as part of the city's budget. The newly launched Housing Land Bank hopes to support housing development in established neighborhoods by providing city-owned vacant land to support affordable housing below market price. It also waives certain fees for developers.
We are starting to see a bit of a transition in some of the areas. We're excited about the Housing Land Bank and what it potentially may mean in North Central. But overall, I think we're encouraged. I think that the city is starting to get ready for being more open to the infill development.
Aiming to build nearly 57,000 new homes by 2025, Regina's plan is to have at least 40% of new units be infill development. A rare copy of Treaty 6 now on display at Wanuskewin Heritage Park in Saskatoon, offering you a chance to look back at the agreement between the Crown and First Nations. Laura Woodward reports.
Behind this glass, a copy of Treaty 6.
This is such an important document, a historic document.
Treaty 6 was first signed in 1876 between the Crown and First Nations leaders. The agreement establishes rights and responsibilities around education, hunting, agriculture, and health care.
To acknowledge that we were going to share the land and, you know, live in peace and harmony, and we'd be able to practice our ways of life.
This rare copy belongs to Flying Dust First Nation, and for Chief Tyson Bear, the history is personal.
It was my great-great-grandpa that had signed the documents.
The chief says the artifact was kept in a safety deposit box before leaders decided it should be shared.
You know, I'm grateful that Wanuskewin has taken good care of it and displaying it and showcasing it and using it as an educational piece.
150 years after Treaty 6 was first signed, Wanuskewin says the document isn't just a window into the past, it's also a reminder of a relationship that continues today.
Yes, it is important for 1876, but also explains how we interact with each other today. It's going to explain how we interact with each other 100 years from now, 200 years now. It's a living agreement.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon brewery is using science to take a closer look at how beer is made and what can be done with what's left behind. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, 3 scientists from Canadian Light Source have become unlikely brewmasters who are glad to put their beer under the microscope.
just doing specific gravity measurements.
Much of what's happening here at this local business, the Saskatoon Beer Lab, is a big experiment, literally. 3 scientists from the Canadian Light Source came up with the idea for the microbrewery with a mutual interest in beer and want to share their data with others who share their passion.
We want to explain to everyone what goes into making beer, and if people want to see those recipes and make them for themselves, awesome. If they just want to know the science that goes into it, even better.
Stobbs is one of the owners of the Saskatoon Beer Lab, but also works at the Canadian Light Source. Currently, his team brews lagers, pilsners, and pale ales, but the science doesn't stop at the bar. They're also looking at how to use what's left over after brewing, called spent grain.
And you're kind of left with the hull, and there should be proteins, so you should be fortifying some of these things. And we want to know, is that true? Is that actually happening? And do you even want to, eat this stuff?
The long-term goal is to turn that brewing byproduct into a functional flour for foods like bread, pizza dough, and pasta. Cheers. They've been brewing since February, but officially opened to customers in the last week of July.
I think they're actually one of the greatest in the city so far, I would say. And it's not only the beer, it's the atmosphere.
And this customer is happy with the added bonus of scientific expertise.
They are really passionate about their beer and how they're making it. So it's very interesting of listening to all the stories that he's saying, because he's very knowledgeable.
The brewery is working to source more ingredients locally, including Saskatchewan barley and hops. Their goal isn't to claim their beer is better, according to Stobbs, but instead they want to better understand how it's made and its potential to reduce the waste it produces. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Incredible stuff. They're going to be on our show next week, so we'll learn a little bit more in detail on that. The city of Saskatoon says almost 24 cases of Dutch elm disease have been confirmed. 6 of those trees are all in a row in the College Park neighborhood. They'll be removed to curb the spread. Another 3 trees in the Caswell Hill neighborhood were identified. City says it's illegal to transport, store, or sell, even use elm wood, and the pruning ban is in effect until the end of August. Anyone who notices yellowing, wilting, or browning leaves on elm trees is asked to contact the city. Who knew a girl from Alabama singing about another state would hit an all-time record?
She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's too stable.
Ella Langley's song Choosin' Texas is now tied for the longest Billboard Hot 100 hit. This excludes holiday hits. The country star achieved a #1 spot for the 19th week. It's tied with Shabuzi's Of Our Song and Old Town Road. You'll remember that one from Little Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus. So who is the all-time leader? Well, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Of course it is.
She will never be dethroned.
Right? And there's sad news, because I know a lot of people I talk to out in the community, they're like, I want to see Ella Langley at Country Thunder. And I've been told by my sources that she is not doing any festivals in 2027.
No, I was also told that. I think you and I have the same source.
Yeah, so when you get that announcement, don't be disappointed. You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here. It is likely not going to be Ella Langley. But
still be a great lineup, I'm sure.
Yes, still going to be fantastic. Also going to be fantastic, the weather today. Take a look at this board behind me. We're seeing some elevated winds over in Alberta and Manitoba. Not so much in Saskatchewan today. So this is nice to see after a couple days. Monday, if you remember, we saw wind gusts up to about 65 kilometers per hour down in the southwest corner. Yesterday, up to about 50 kilometers per hour down to the southeast. Today, we're not really seeing those winds surpassing 25 kilometers per hour. So a nice calm day. Also nice to see is some of that blue disappearing from the province this morning. So things are warming up, but we're still not quite into double digits everywhere. 5 degrees in Stony Rapids, 9 degrees through South End, Prince Albert, Spiritwood, and Hudson Bay. Buffalo Narrows still at 14 degrees, so we haven't moved there, but that is still the hot spot in the province. 11 degrees in Kindersley, 12 in Swift Current, 7 degrees still in Moose Jaw and Assiniboia, 8 degrees in Regina and Weyburn, and 9 degrees in Estevan. So we're waiting still for some of those areas to reach into double digits. It's going to be a very nice afternoon, though. Prince Albert, don't worry much about that icon that you're seeing with that rain. If it does come, it's going to be very small amounts, not even a millimeter. What we're really expecting today is a whole lot of sunshine. 27 degrees there, though. 26 in Saskatoon and Regina today, as well as Estevan. 27 in Weyburn, 28 in Moose Jaw, 29 over in Swift Current. So all of these numbers are above that average. And if you're wondering, well, what is that average? The average in Regina is 23.9, and the average in Saskatoon for this day is 23.0. We're not hitting the average. We're also not even close to where we were on this day last year. In Regina, August 26th, it was 31.0 in the afternoon. And in Saskatoon last year, we peaked at 29.4. Also not close to those record-setting numbers. Back in the year 1971, that high was 35.6 in Regina. And in 1996, the high in Saskatoon was 34.4 degrees. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast now. So we're seeing nice temperatures until the weekend. 29 tomorrow, 28 on Friday, and 28 on Saturday. Sunday, we're seeing the chance of some rain moving in and temperatures dropping. 23 on Sunday, 23 on Monday, and 26 on Tuesday with some more rain on the way. In Saskatoon, 28 for your Thursday and 29 on Friday. Chance of some very early morning rain on Friday, and then that system will be moving away for the afternoon, seeing a lot of sunshine. Chance of some more rain coming for Saturday and Sunday, though. Again, temperatures, we're watching them drop on Sunday to about 23 degrees, 23 on Monday, and 23 on Tuesday with some more rain on the way.
Welcome to our morning mystery. Chief amongst them, why are there bananas in a spyglass in the open? We don't know. We didn't make it. Let's talk about an animal today. 3 clues lined up for you. Clue number 1 is it is National Dog Day. So we'll preface that. Dogs of this breed have webbed toes and help them to swim.
What?
Their coats are unusually curly or wavy, and they do not shed too much. And former U.S. President Barack Obama had 2 dogs of this breed, Bo and Sunny. I don't know. I'm going to go with this.
I'm not going to get this.
I don't think this is right either, but I'm going to go this way.
I hear curly hair, and I think some kind of doodle.
Hey, I thought the same thing. I said labradoodle.
Some kind of doodle.
Did Barack Obama own a labradoodle?
Oh, no, a Portuguese water dog.
Right. Why didn't I think of that?
Because of the web toes for swimming. I actually should have thought of this.
I was going to guess a duck trolling retriever, but that's today's National Dog Day mystery. Every time Trevor Harris comes into our studio, he does weather, but he also says, you want dad jokes? I got dad jokes. And it's kind of my thing. So the only way to settle this, Trevor, is to go back and forth and try not to make each other break.
This is a dad joke-off duel here?
Dad joke-off duel. But before we do that, we got to get people in these stands, these empty chairs. We need to fill all of them on August 29th.
August 29th, get here versus Toronto Argonauts. Be loud. Don't let them execute on offense. But when we're on offense, as you guys know, keep it down.
I gotta throw you off your game. So I wore my 99 Corey Mace coach vibes just to get. Do you want to go first? Or do you want to go second?
Once you go ahead and lead us off here, you said that you got the best dad jokes, so let's hear it.
Let's talk confidence. Let's say, how do you attract a farm girl? First, you attract her.
It's not bad.
Attract her.
We'll go a little football themed here just to start here.
All right.
What did the football say when it got tired?
I will.
I'm feeling a little deflated.
I can see where that would be fitting for a stadium. What do you call a monkey with a firecracker?
Monkey with a firecracker.
A baboom.
Nice.
Baboom. Nice. That didn't work. I thought that would work.
Why did the stadium get hotter after the game?
Why?
All the fans left.
That makes sense. Unless you're in Toronto, then there are none. Why is it so hard for a giraffe to say they're sorry?
Something wrong? I don't know.
It takes a long time for them to swallow their pride.
That's a good one.
I thought these were all gold. Okay, go ahead.
I heard they banned loud laughing in Hawaii.
Oh, that seems strange.
Just allowed aloha.
Almost got me. A friend of mine was kidnapped by mimes. They did unspeakable things to him. Nothing. It's madness.
Well, this guy the other day, he bought some shoes from a drug dealer.
Yep.
I'm not sure what he laced him with, but he was tripping all day.
I know somebody out there laughed at those. What do you call a fake noodle?
Impasta?
Yeah.
How do fish always know what their weight is?
Great question. How?
They have their own scales.
Oh. What do you call a fish with no eyes? Spelling.
Yeah, I got you.
What did the seal with a broken arm say to the shark? Do not eat if seal is broken.
That's a good one.
See, you smiled. There, we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
Yeah. Just when you thought food couldn't make phone calls.
Yeah.
Boom. Onion rings.
That happens. That happens. I wouldn't worry about your smartphone or your TV listening to you. The vacuum's been gathering dirt on you for years.
Stole one of mine. That's a good one. That is a great one. That is a great one. If you're American when you go into the bathroom,
yes,
and American when you leave,
right,
what are you when you're in the bathroom?
European.
European. Very well done.
You hear about the restaurant on the moon? Food is great, but there's really no atmosphere.
If we even went to the moon.
If we even went to the moon. Oh, wow. We're starting that today.
I said that I would say that on TV. My friend Tony, he asked me not to. He said, "Don't say my name backwards."
Okay.
I said, "Why not?"
Okay, that's good. That's a good one. That's a good one. What do you call a moose with no name?
Moose with no name.
No name.
I don't know.
Well, you'd be an moose.
Yeah, that is a good one. What do you get when you mix an elephant and a rhino?
What?
Oh, if I know.
Okay, that wins. That wins. Congratulations. Thanks. Trevor, August 29th, one more push, fill the stadium.
I tell you what, I probably met my match today with dad jokes, but I don't think anybody else can meet our fan base. So why don't you come out here, be loud, be proud, and let's go get this win against the Toronto Argonauts.
We're just missing your kids. Where are your kids? They got to be flexing on this. So last time they were in studio, they were flexing randomly all over the place. August 29th, get your tickets at riderville.com.
All right, Janelle Pai has been busy this morning getting involved with all there is to do at Echo Valley Provincial Park. Let's see what she's up to now. Janelle.
Good morning. I'm back with Shelly McLean. We have made it over to the bouncy castles. This is a ton of fun. Shelly, we're going to take one for a spin coming up here. But before we get into this, tell me a little bit about how new this attraction is and how much people have loved it.
Yeah, Janelle, we're over at Pasqua Lake, and new this year we have our excellent outdoor adventure rentals center, which is different inflatables. And it's amazing. There's something here for everyone of all ages to come down, bounce your sillies out, and just really enjoy the park.
Absolutely, it is right by the water too, so perfect placement. Have you seen quite a bit of traction coming here so far?
We sure have. I don't know if traction's the right word, Janelle. We've seen a lot of bouncing, but yeah, absolutely. The kids and families have been coming down from the campground, really enjoying the setting with the lake in the background. It's amazing down here.
Absolutely gorgeous. So when did this start? When can people still come down to check it out for? How much longer?
So sadly, this is the last week for our bouncy amazingness here at the park. So they're here all week and then into the weekend. Sunday is their scheduled last day. So yeah, we're really encouraging guests and their families to make their way down to Echo Valley Provincial Park, Pasqua side, jump in a bouncing cow, jump on a slide, and really enjoy the rest of summer.
All right, which is what we're about to do now. Should we get in?
Absolutely, we should.
All right, this could be you.
It's August 26th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday wish going out to Winston, who is now 10 years old. Lots of love from your friends and family. Another belated birthday wish going out to Serenity. She is now a 1-year-old. We hope the day was a lot of fun celebrating with your family. Big happy birthday wishes going out to Laura. We hope your day is super special with lots of love from your son, Eric. And happy birthday wishes also going out to Chris. We hope you have a great day and a great year ahead. Here's a fun one. This beautiful couple, Louise Louise and Brian share a birthday. Happy birthday to you both. And you both have a lot of love and well wishes being sent your way today. And finally, our friend Donna from Cowessess sent in this beautiful photo to wish her husband a happy anniversary. It came with a message that reads, 31 years married, 100 years in love. Hope it's a great day for you too.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
What's going on the radio today, Chase?
Well, we got tributes pouring in for Dolly Parton. We'll be playing her all morning long, too. Plus, I found a list of the best golden hour spots in the entire world. Top 10 and 7 of the 10 right here in Canada. So you got to think Saskatchewan, land of the living skies, gots to be on that list. Get your details there. Also, Daryl, thank you for getting me back into the groove. Yesterday, you called. We played the graduation guest game where I asked you the 3 C's: first celebrity crush, first car, and your first concert. I was within 1 year of your grad year, but then we played with Kyle at 8:40. Had his perfectly correct. So back in that, we'll play again coming up at 8:40 this morning, and that could win you $100 to spend at Cornwall Centre for back-to-school shopping.
Dolly Parton's friends and collaborators mourning the country superstar's passing. In a statement to ABC News, Linda Ronstadt writing, "I am deeply saddened by the passing of my friend Dolly Parton. One of the most extraordinary musical experiences of my life was recording with her." Comedian Lily Tomlin, who starred alongside Parton and Jane Fonda in the film 9 to 5, shared a photo with Parton captioned, "No words." The music icon star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame overflowing with tributes. Parton was 80 years old. Former Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens will suit up to serve the public trust in a new RoboCop series for Prime Video. The original RoboCop came out in 1987 and was followed by 2 movie sequels and a 2014 remake.
These people could be killers.
Only Murders in the Building will return with new episodes before the end of the year. Season 6 of the mystery series, dubbed Only Murders in London, will premiere on Hulu December 8th and follow the characters as they solve a case across the pond. Disney is a parent company of Hulu and ABC News. And happy birthday to Keke Palmer, who turns 33 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
I feel like you can relate to this first one.
Yeah, I sure can. Do you ever spend so much money on something that you really try to get your money's worth?
I didn't get it at first. I thought, what, the sponge, the broom? But it's no, it's worse.
It's the costumes. This woman is trying to get her money's worth with her daughter's dance costumes, so she's wearing them while she's around the house doing chores, exercising, all that. These are expensive. I was a competitive dancer. I know you are spending hundreds upon hundreds of dollars every year on these costumes. My poor parents.
Not quite like a bridesmaid dress where you just shorten it, totally wear it again?
No, there was a lot of costumes that were very ugly, I'll say it. And like, I have photos of me in unitards. Nobody wants to see them, but fully just purple spandex, like,
You better hide your phone from producer Nathan, because I know they all live on your phone with your 58,000 photos. Quick time out. We got much more coming up on the other side of this break. Welcome to Wednesday, August 26th.
People are frustrated. 4.5 years without a pay increase, 3.5 years without a contract, and the fact that we're still at the bargaining table is becoming more and more frustrating for healthcare workers.
Negotiations continue to affect the province's largest healthcare unions.
We want to know, is that true? Is that actually happening? And do you even want to, eat this stuff?
Breweries using science in the brewing process, finding new ways to repurpose waste and sharing their knowledge with others.
We are starting to see a bit of a transition in some of the areas.
City of Regina hoping to boost infill development with new incentives. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
I think we just got an update from the field. Janelle is in water.
Well, I'm concerned. I was just checking my phone, and camera woman Ashley just sent a text saying, "Oh, Janelle fell in the water."
Oh, I hope it's not with our gear.
Yeah, exactly. Was that with or without the microphone on?
We can dry her off.
So we're going to have an update on that later.
Okay, and we're going to start with some sad news in news at 8:01. This morning, the world, of course, remembering the Queen of Country.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Just because
Dolly Parton died yesterday in Nashville at the age of 80. She had spoken about a struggle with kidney stones. Just days ago, she provided an update saying she was healing but still working. In a statement confirming her death, her publicist said Parton had faced a brief battle with cancer. Her career spans decades, 25 number ones, and of course the philanthropy work that we will talk about coming up in the 8:30 news. Next, we go to tariff talk, as usual, as Saskatchewan manufacturers sift through the details of yesterday's counter-tariff measures to see how or if they'll be impacted. Here's Wayne Mantika.
Saskatchewan's Degelman Industries manufactures farm equipment at plants in Canada and in North Dakota. Supplies and product move back and forth between the two countries. Now Degelman is assessing how it may be impacted by American tariffs and Canadian counter-tariffs.
These new rounds of tariffs are nothing new to us in the sense that, we've been dealing with this for the last couple of years. So we're fairly familiar with how the process works. But as we get more information on this newest round, we're just going to have to do a little bit more homework to see what it affects outside of the current ones.
Canada has announced counter-tariffs on 700 U.S. products, along with a $7.5 billion aid package for Canadians. Degelman Industries believes it is better positioned than most logistically to avoid cost increases.
That's the thing about the tariffs is it doesn't affect everything that we do. It affects certain parts and certain materials, but a lot of our finished goods have been exempt for a while, and I don't believe these new ones will affect much more.
Premier Scott Moe has issued a statement offering support for the federal government's counter-tariffs. They will cover about $1.5 billion, or 11% of Saskatchewan's annual imports from the U.S. The Premier said, "We are analyzing the counter-tariff list closely and working with affected industries to determine its potential impact on jobs and consumer prices, while also reviewing the federal government's support measures." The Premier did not indicate whether any additional support is contemplated for Saskatchewan businesses and workers. He did say the ultimate goal is to get back to a free and fair trade relationship with the United States. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
So Ottawa's support package includes measures like expanding EI changes as well as expanding loan and grant programs.
This is really about supporting Canada, supporting worker communities and businesses.
There will also be money available to fund shovel-ready projects. Business owners say higher costs and an uncertain climate will be felt by consumers. According to reports, CIA Director John Ratcliffe in the U.S. is in Moscow to meet with Russian officials. This will be the first known visit to the capital by a U.S. spy chief in 5 years. Ratcliffe's predecessor held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in November of 2021. U.S. media outlets did not report who he was visiting or what the talks were going to cover. The CIA declined to comment. At least 14 newborn babies have been killed in a fire at a hospital and nursery in Pakistan. Maternity ward at the government-run hospital in Islamabad. There were at least 15 babies in the nursery. One of them was rescued. The rest of the hospital wasn't affected and no other injuries were reported. Officials say the fire started after an air conditioning compressor exploded. Pakistan's government has already opened an investigation. Family and supporters of Gerald Straightnose are now taking their call for answers to the provincial capital. A year after he died in RCMP custody, family, friends and supporters rallied in Kamsack about 2 weeks ago, calling for answers, accountability accountability and justice. As CERT investigation continues, a peaceful walk from Kamsack to Regina began on Monday, passing through Yorkton Tuesday, and will continue through several communities. Organizers say the walk honors Gerald Straightnose and other Indigenous people who have died in police custody.
Walk a mile in my moccasins, meaning maybe if you walk in our shoes and see through our eyes how we're treated, maybe people will feel different.
Organizers are accepting donations to support the walk. A 35-year-old man has been charged after he smashed the windows of an RCMP vehicle in Sandy Bay. RCMP released the photo of the damage caused by the man who smashed the windshield of a cruiser with a metal bar. Police say it happened a little before 10 o'clock Saturday night when they heard a loud bang outside. They found the 35-year-old from Sandy Bay smashing their windows. He faces mischief and weapons offenses as well as a breach of probation, charges that include a separate instance of smashing a vehicle's windows. City of Saskatoon is doing an annual hydraulic flushing of the water distribution system next week. So if you live in that ward zone 1, they'll be covering everything north of 19th Street on August 31st. The city says hydraulic flushing uses high velocity water to scour and remove sediment and mineral buildup that can accumulate in pipes, improving the water quality and maintaining performance of the water network. Work is scheduled to last from Monday to Friday, 7 to 7, and will continue for 4 to 6 weeks, weather permitting. City is asking residents, that means you, to avoid using water whenever possible during flushing. Turn off any time-delayed water systems like dishwashers, coffee makers, water softeners, and sprinklers to help them out. Prince Albert police have released 2 images of the suspects who were in the area before a shooting on Sunday afternoon. Officers were called to the 900 block of 13th Street West Sunday a little after 4 p.m. after a man had been shot. Police believe the victim was shot with a shotgun and taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone who recognizes the individuals on your screen, call police or Crime Stoppers. A week after highlighting a growing population, the City of Regina's search for new ways to meet the increasing demand for housing, including infill, has been presented to Council. Donovan Mace reports.
Needing thousands of new homes to meet soaring demand, Regina is boosting its support for infill developments.
We are starting to see a bit of a transition in some of the areas. We're excited about the housing land bank, but overall, I think we're encouraged.
The $5.5 million land bank, an incentive for developers to build in the city's core neighborhoods like North Central. Last year, the city approved more than 1,600 building permits. Of those, 456 builds were in established neighborhoods, a significant increase from the just 40 approved in 2021. Infill development is also happening across the city, with 42% of approvals in the Dewdney East area, Arcola East at 24%, and the Cathedral, Heritage, and Downtown Core combining for 27%. However, the city is struggling to boost new builds in North Central, where no permits were approved in 2025.
Infill development is a challenge in the best of economic times.
Incentives like the land bank welcome news for builders.
Where construction costs are, things are challenging at this time. So again, these city programs are very important in bringing these projects to fruition.
And the Hope Development and core neighborhoods helps in their revitalization.
It's important that we are able to focus on the shared goals that we have for what we want to see for the city.
It's about changing the perceptions and changing the ideas of what living in those neighborhoods look like.
Now, the city says it needs nearly 57,000 new homes by 2050 to meet its estimated population, and it wants 40% of those builds to be infill. But the 456 approvals last year, just 27% of housing starts, well short of its long-term goal. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
A Saskatoon microbrewery is using science in the brewing process, finding ways to repurpose the waste and sharing their knowledge with others. The brewery's 3 founders, all scientists at the Canadian Light Source, studying their ingredients closely. The brewer's philosophy is know your beer, with a focus on transparency and a desire to share their findings with others. Publishes recipes and everything online while working to source more ingredients locally. That includes barley malt with Saskatchewan-grown hops, also on the way. They're also determined to see if the brewing waste can be repurposed into something useful. We'll learn more about this on the show early next week. But reduce, reuse, recycle even in your beer, Kaylee.
Yeah, absolutely. Always a good policy to live by, Daryl. Let's turn our attention now to the weather center, though. Not a bad start to the morning, although it has been a little bit cool through some parts of the province. We are into double digits now in the Queen City, 13 degrees. Winds are currently sitting at 6 kilometers per hour with that sunshine. We saw a little bit of fog earlier on in this morning. That has started to lift now. Still seeing a little bit of that fog, though, in areas around Swift Current. 13 degrees as well to wake you up in Saskatoon. Again, seeing a lot of sunshine, winds at 4 kilometers per hour. We're not really talking about those winds bothering you all too much today. What we are talking about is the Air Quality Health Index. We do have these statements currently in effect for parts of southern Saskatchewan. Yesterday, we saw an improvement with that smoke in the air. We were seeing numbers on the health index sitting around 2 to 3. That's considered a low risk. Today, they are up to between 4 to 5 in many places, especially down south. Not so bad up north, but again, a moderate risk down south. So keep that in mind if you're spending an excessive amount of time outside today. Futurecast showing, again, a whole lot of sunshine on the way for the day today. Not even seeing too much in terms of the cloud cover into the afternoon. Similar conditions. It's actually into tomorrow afternoon that we start to see some rain moving into the southwest corner of the province. This is likely to come with some very light thunderstorm activity. And then by early on Friday morning, we do see some rain falling around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and Regina. So you could be waking up to this on Friday morning. Also around 7:45 a.m., right around Yorkton and down through Estevan as well. Into the later parts of the afternoon on Friday, though, things are clearing up for many parts of central and southern Saskatchewan. It's just going to be still falling far up north. In terms of the temperatures today, very nice. We're seeing highs above that seasonal average, 24 in Yorkton today, 26 in Estevan and Regina, as well as Saskatoon, 28 in the Battlefords and Moose Jaw, and 29 over in Swift Current. Again, you are, we were just seeing the rain icon over in Prince Albert, and that just updated as we were looking at it to that sunshine icon. Again, if you are going to be getting even the smallest amount of some drizzle today, we're not worrying too much about that. We were currently reading it around under a millimeter of rain, so mainly that sunshine today. Again, all we're really worried about with that sunshine and low wind is the air quality, and that is mainly with that smoke hovering down south today.
This day in history, August 26, 1977, the Quebec government adopted the Charter of the French Language, or Bill 101, setting limits on the use of English in the province. August 26, 2020, the Milwaukee Bucks forfeited an NBA playoff game to protest the police shooting of Jacob Blake. And August 26, 2016, San Francisco 49ers Colin Kaepernick, the quarterback, kneeled during the national anthem at a game to protest racial injustice and police brutality in the U.S. Waiting in line for a ride at Wonderland in Toronto, Canada's Wonderland. Probably the least fun part of the day, so why not squeeze in a bit of work?
To working from home from Wonderland, a series where I get my work done at Canada's largest amusement park for the next year and a half, while also trying to milk $10,000 of retail value out of my pass. Let's clock in for day 81. Started off the day with a watermelon icy with
He's going to Canada's Wonderland. He works from the Griffin's Crown Lounge for about 7 hours before going on a few rides to end his shift. He's been working in Wonderland for the past 100 days or so, so that's a good investment for the past. $240 gets you the year, and he's trying to milk as much as you heard out of this thing.
So,
do you think his boss likes this?
I was going to say, does his boss know? Are they aware?
Is his productivity still good?
Yeah, I mean, some managers don't really care as long as the productivity is there.
Right.
So, I mean, yesterday I said, can I go home? And you said, yeah, you're annoying me. So.
No, I said, I'm sick of you.
There's a difference. So I went home early.
If you're going to tell the story, tell it accurately. Let's show some pictures of some dogs in our question of the day. It's National Dog Day. Poor producer Nathan took on the task of getting all of these pictures and videos and everything into our system. So let's go through them.
Yeah, lots of photos coming in. We couldn't share them all, so we just have some of the top photos. Thank you to Steph, who sent in this photo of Addie. What a photogenic pup.
Not even the top, just the first that he could get to. Carol sent in this photo of Gunny. I hope I'm saying that right, who's looking very playful this morning. Golden retriever after my heart.
Carol also sent in another photo of her pup, Duke, looking very comfortable. Oh, I think this might be the wrong pup. I think this one is No, this was in from Barbara.
Uh-oh.
We're mixing up all the photos here. Sorry to everybody. But let's get on to another one.
Is this Maui? This is Maui with her soccer ball. This one's coming from Carol.
Yes, this one. We also have Oscar, who is a very impressive 15 years old. What a good boy.
15.
Yeah.
Let's show Ryder and Dusty. Of course, you have to have a dog named Ryder when you live in Saskatchewan. Go to which is which.
What a cute pair.
But there they are.
Oh, they look like they're smiling there. We also have a photo of Winnie lounging on her couch. Oh, that's sweet. And Axel, a burner healer cross, enjoying his yard. Their owner says he's not the brightest bulb in the shed.
But we love him anyway.
But we love him anyway.
Right?
Yeah, as long as you're sweet, right?
How about Charlie, obsessed with the ball?
Oh, cute. We also had another Charlie coming in, too. Not quite as obsessed with the ball, but looking very dapper in their sweater.
Where's Jeremy Dodge when we need him to complain about dogs in costumes?
So cute, though. Thank you for participating in our question of the day. We're back right after this.
I think as men we can admit that women go through a lot, from childbirth to having to deal with menstrual cycles. But imagine not being able to afford the tools needed to help. That's why a local not-for-profit started up this year, to try to prevent what's being called period poverty. Here's Damian Smith.
Among the many vendors at I Love Regina Day was one new nonprofit organization looking to tackle period poverty in Regina.
Through healthcare, child welfare, nonprofits, I've seen this issue come up again and again of period poverty.
Co-founders of the Period Network say period poverty means having a lack of access to menstrual products, education, hygiene, facilities, and waste management.
There's absolutely period poverty in our own community, and we have women who are struggling to access these products that are absolutely necessities. These aren't optional products that they're using.
They set out to donate packs of 20 products, which is the average one may use per cycle.
Many women who didn't have access to products, it's embarrassing. You know, it's something that you need every single month. People have blood on their pants. People are embarrassed to go to work.
The Period Network says that 1 in 6 Canadians who menstruate experience period poverty. Packs like these can help save money in the meantime.
So if you want to do something like a menstrual cup, you're looking at $40. If you want to do pads or tampons, they could range from $10 a pack to $20 a pack.
So far, there are 9 collection sites set up to receive donations around the city, which will then be distributed to people in need.
A lot of the folks that are coming into our center are living in poverty and are homeless, so they don't have these essential, hygiene items.
This is not just a women's issue. We all come from women. Most of us have, partners, sisters, daughters, mothers. This is an issue that impacts absolutely everybody.
So far in their 2 months, the Period Network has donated around 50 packs to places like the Pine Lodge, the Wellness Bus, as well as Big Brothers, Big Sisters in Regina. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
The 6th annual Country Jamboree at Harbour Landing Village is today, bringing together residents, families, staff, and community for one big celebration of summer. Joining us now in studio for the details are Jansen Anderson and Brian Sklar. Good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning.
So it's hard to believe that we're in the 6th year of this already. It's one of my personally favorite events of the summer. Jansen, how did this get started and what are we expecting today?
This is our biggest and best ever, and we're so excited for it. This started off as something that we wanted to put on for our residents, for our community at Harbour Landing Village. Obviously, with our seniors, it's harder to get out and about, so things like Country Thunder or the exhibition or even Agribition are harder to get out to. So we thought, why don't we bring it all to Harbour Landing Village and put on a big event? And over the years, from 2021 till this year, it's gotten bigger and bigger, and we've added more and more. It's going to be great.
Residents and families are going to be able to enjoy some great food and, of course, some great performances today. Brian Sklar, you're on at 11. Tell us, what can residents and families expect from your performances today?
Solid country music. We used to have a banner that went across the back of the stage that said industrial strength country. Well, we cover a larger gamut of music than that now, but we're there to entertain. We don't just play music. We talk to the folks, we visit with them. And this is one of our favorite gigs of the year. First of all, you're playing outside, and it looks like we're going to have great weather. And it's just going to be fun. And my wife is planning on bringing our 3 grandkids. We had one there last year, and he told the other 2 about it, so it's their turn. And it's just going to be a great family day.
No doubt it's going to be a fabulous day, and you're right about the weather. It's going to be a great day to get outside. It's also in support of a great cause, correct, Jansen?
Yeah, so this year we thought as it's grown over the years, we wanted to do something to give back. So STARS Ambulance is going to be, one of the causes that we want to support over the course of the day. And that's a little bit of a new element and something we'd like to kind of do on a go-forward basis. They're going to be there so people have the ability to donate and support STARS. But I just wanted to mention, like this year, as I mentioned before, bigger and better than ever. We have 5 food trucks. We have the mechanical bull coming back. We have the horse-drawn carriage rides, 7 bands starting off with Brian and his crew, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Face painting, a marketplace with over 20 different vendors. It's going to be epic. And there's a giant Godzilla blow up right out front. So you will not miss it. Harbour Landing Village kind of sticks out on its own, but now we've got a giant multi-story Godzilla blow up right outside, and that's where people can come and get checked in.
All right, there you have it. So all the fun is kicking off today at Harbour Landing Village. You can head to their website for more information on today's event and everything else that you can check out at Harbour Landing Village.
Mike Siona had a busy morning, but that's nothing compared to how busy things will be on Saturday at Ukrainian Day in the Park in Saskatoon. Let's go back one final time.
Yes, we are here at Kiwanis Park getting all geared up for Ukrainian Day in the Park, which is this Saturday. I'm joined by Andri Bonder and Caitlin Putz. Caitlin, obviously behind us right here is going to be the big stage. Talk to me about some of the performers that you're most looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, Hutzel Drive is our band, and Pavlichenko and Yevshan will both be here performing. Performances start at 11:30, but our doors open at 11. It's a free event for everyone of all ages. Come join us for a day to celebrate Ukrainian culture and, see some performances, hear some music. It'll be fun.
Now, if people have not been and they're kind of, saying, well, what's it like? The website and social media give you a pretty good taste of years past.
Yeah, for sure. Go follow our social medias and look at our website, ukrainiandayinthepark.ca.
Very cool. Now, this is going to be the 25th edition of Ukrainian Day in the Park right here in Saskatoon, and obviously falling on the 35th year in celebration of Ukrainian independence. We talked about those things. We obviously, have the continuing background of war in Ukraine, but this is also a very unique opportunity for some new Canadians, Andri.
Yes, and Ukrainian Day in the Park's been home for citizenship ceremonies for the last 4 or 5 years now, and this year another over 20 new Canadians will take oath in front of the whole community and from the stage. And we have an opportunity to welcome them as well. For them, it's a special day because this is so important. They can bring all their family members, and it's open space, and it is really special for them, but also for us that we can host them and welcome to the community too.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I know I've been here in years past, and it's a great vibe all day long with the cultural component, but then when things kind of pause and that citizenship ceremony comes and we welcome new Canadians to our country, it's really a cool moment. So come and check it out, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday here in Saskatoon at Kiwanis Park, Ukrainian Day in the Park.
You all look fabulous. We got your 8:30 news in 2 minutes. Welcome back. It is 8:30. A Saskatoon man says a downtown walk home after celebrating his birthday turned into a violent attack. CTV Stacey Hine with what happened.
Coming here and seeing where it happened has been a bit of a scary moment.
Ross Smith says he and his friend were walking home after a night out celebrating his birthday when they were approached by a group of strangers near Spadina and 20th Street East.
Didn't look their way, there was no animosity, and just on the corner of 20th they just decided to spray us in the face with bear spray. Could hardly breathe, couldn't see.
He says his friend ran for help, but he was unable to get away.
They just tripped me up, started kicking my head, my face.
He was taken to hospital with a gash to the back of his head, a black eye, and extensive bruising.
My left ear was as though I'd fought in the UFC. It was out to here.
Smith says he's grateful to the paramedics and hospital staff who helped him after the attack. Now he's sharing his story in hopes of warning others to use extra precaution.
Be wary and keep an eye when you're out there, because I didn't expect anything like this to happen in this city.
Data from Saskatoon Police shows there have been 177 assaults in downtown Saskatoon so far this year, and that assaults have increased by about 75% over the past 5 years, rising from 191 incidents in 2021 to 334 in 2025. Police say staying aware of your surroundings is key to personal safety.
The main thing we can stress to people is to maintain your sense of self-awareness. And so that means just knowing your surroundings, knowing where you are, in case you have to call for help, before you going out, making sure somebody else who's perhaps not with you knows where you are in case they need to offer some help to you.
A 17-year-old boy has been charged in connection with the attack and is facing 2 counts of assault with a weapon, carrying a concealed weapon, and possession of a weapon. A 15-year-old boy also faces charges. Smith says the experience has made him rethink how he gets home after a night out.
I will not be walking home anymore, that's for sure.
As for the 2 teenage boys charged in this case, they're scheduled to appear in Saskatoon Provincial Court on September 16th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Several people are dead and hundreds missing in Nepal after a deadly mudslide. Surveillance video that you have to see shows people running away as a wall of mud and floodwater swept through the border crossing between Nepal and China. Lama Hassan reports.
Yeah, that's right. The details are just coming into us, but here's what we know so far. We spoke to a Nepalese tour company that confirmed 3 Americans are missing right now after a massive flash flood triggered a mudslide. You can see it sweeping through parts of Nepal. The video is just incredible and so devastating. The flood was so powerful, so destructive. It washed away everything in its path, villages and damaging roads. The flood hitting early on Wednesday morning just north of Nepal's capital, Kathmandu. A search and rescue operation is underway. A Nepalese army spokesperson saying at least 8 people are dead. And as you know, Nepal, where this took place near the border with China, is a popular destination with tourists. And according to the Nepalese Tourism Board, nearly 400 tourists are missing. The army has urged people to remain on high alert and to stay in safe places. Now, unsurprisingly, officials there are fearing that the death toll will rise. Just a reminder that in the same area last year, they also had a deadly flood that killed 9 people, and this after a glacier burst on the Chinese side of the border. Officials do believe that today's disaster is much worse. Lama Hassan.
Continue to follow that. Dolly Parton never forgot where she came from. It's one of the many things that made her such a beloved figure around the world, but especially in her home state of Tennessee, where she started Dollywood Foundation back in the 80s. It's an organization that has gone on to help children's hospitals, natural disaster relief efforts, women's health, and of course, Dolly's Imagination Library. Sam Champion has more on her impact.
Country music icon Dolly Parton was known for timeless hits like 1977's Here You Come Again. When it was recorded, it was already her 17th solo album.
Here you come again, and looking better than a body has a right to.
But behind the spotlight was a quieter part of her life's work, a lifelong commitment to giving back.
I'm just so proud and so honored to be here today with you.
Her decades-long philanthropic career championed issues like opportunity and education, including her passion project, the Imagination Library, inspired by her father, Robert Lee Parton, who wasn't taught to read or write.
I started in my home county of Sevier County with my dad, because my dad couldn't read and write.
and that always troubled him and it troubled me. My dad got to live long enough to see it doing good, and he felt proud, like he helped do something good.
Founded in 1995,
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Yay, that's very good.
the Imagination Library has grown into a global powerhouse, gifting over 300 million books to children worldwide.
I'm so happy that we have got that many books in the hands of that many children, and that they can learn to read in their most impressionable years.
Her historic efforts earned her the prestigious Carnegie Medal of Philanthropy.
Oh, books, books. I love books. The way they feel and smell and look. From my first look, I was hooked on books, books, books.
Dolly recalled the pride she felt about the program's success with our own Robin Roberts.
When I got to Knoxville, and there was a little boy, and the family wanted me to take a picture, and they said, "What are you here for?" And I said, "Dollywood." And the little boy, you know what he said? "Books, that's the book lady."
Oh, no, I'm so proud of the Imagination Library and the kids calling me the book lady.
In 2016, when wildfires devastated parts of Tennessee, she and her Dollywood Foundation stepped in to help, giving $1,000 checks to nearly 900 victims for 6 weeks.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Her generosity also stretched into healthcare, with Dolly donating $1 million to Vanderbilt University's COVID-19 research that helped develop the Moderna vaccine.
Here I go. All right.
Sharing this video to encourage others to get their vaccine.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate.
And Dolly was dedicated to improving children's health.
I've always been involved in one way or another with children's charities or with children in general because I love little kids. I'm from a big family of children. I want to pledge $1 million to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. So that's something that'll help a little bit.
Dolly Parton lived her life leading with kindness, compassion, and generosity.
If you're fortunate enough to become successful, then you should be willing to give back. You should get involved in things that you believe in, things that you can go out and talk about it and mean it.
I just heard you say it all the way from the Weather Center. Icon.
Icon, beauty and grace. There will never be another Dolly Parton.
It's funny. It's like one of those rare things that everyone around the world seems to be able to agree on.
Yes,
right?
exactly. And you can't find much of that these days, but everyone can agree Dolly Parton was an icon.
Yeah, at least appreciate her, for sure. What's going on in the weather forecast?
All right, well, we are seeing a pretty nice start to the day. Temperatures are still a little bit cool up north. Stony Rapids is our cold spot this hour. We are seeing very low wind speeds to start the day. And as you can see on this board behind me here, the winds are going to remain low for the rest of the afternoon as well. We see a little bit of that blue color creeping into the far southwest corner. Even still, we're not really seeing much of these numbers going above 25 kilometers per hour. So enjoy this very calm day. A little bit of that blue color still far up north. As we mentioned, Stony Rapids is the cold spot. Currently, we are rounding up to 9 degrees there on your screen. It actually is about 8.9 degrees. 15 in La Ronge, though, 12 degrees in Prince Albert, 13 degrees in Melfort. Our hot spot you're not seeing on the screen right now. It's actually Maple Creek, sitting at about 18 degrees already to start the day. They're also going to be getting into the 30-degree temps this afternoon, so that's far above that seasonal average. 16 in Swift Current right now, though, 12 degrees in Moose Jaw and Assiniboia, 11 degrees in Weyburn, and 14 degrees in Yorkton. Into the afternoon, some very nice temperatures, especially to the western part of the province. 28 in the Battlefords, 29 in Swift Current. As we mentioned, areas around Leader and Maple Creek could be up into those 30-degree temps. 28 in Moose Jaw, 27 in Weyburn today, 26 for both Saskatoon and Regina, 25 in Yorkton, and 26 in Estevan. So a really nice day ahead. Those averages continue to fall, though, as we're making our way towards September. 23.9 is now the average in Regina. 23.0 is the average for this time of year in Saskatoon. So we are above that average. We are below, though, where we were at last year, where Regina on August 26th, 2025, peaked at 31.0 degrees that afternoon. In Saskatoon, we peaked at 29.4 degrees. The record-setting year in Regina was 1971, where we peaked at 35.6 degrees on this day. And in Saskatoon, your record-setting year, 1996, where we peaked at 34.4 degrees. Here's a look at that 70 forecast now. Temperatures remaining fairly nice and above that average until Sunday, where we see those drop down to right on that average. 23 degrees. Sunday also seeing some rain. 23 on Monday, mix of sun and cloud. And the rain returning on Tuesday, but temperatures going up slightly to 26 degrees. In Saskatoon, again, seeing nice temperatures through until Friday. Temperatures staying nice on Saturday, but we are expecting some light rain. Sunday, a bit more of that rain on the way as temperatures drop to 23. 23 also for Monday, and some more rain on the way for Tuesday, 23 degrees.
Western tiger salamander is Saskatchewan's only species and top aquatic predator in our fishless water bodies. Efforts underway to save them. Emily is with Nature Saskatchewan in studio with us this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Remind us the role of Nature Saskatchewan.
So we work with landowners with species at risk on their properties to conserve and monitor the species.
And we'll show a picture so we know what we're talking about when we say the tiger salamander. Tell us about this creature.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, they're Saskatchewan's only salamander species, so they are a bit unique. When they're younger, they do have like the barring, the kind of black and green or yellow barring on them that gives them their name. And then as they get older, they get more solid looking. So they can look a variety of ways, but they are only salamanders. So.
What kind of threats are they facing?
So they're facing a lot of different threats. They are still locally abundant in Saskatchewan. We're in the heart of their range, but their main threat is they're an amphibian, so they rely on fishless water bodies. The prairie landscape used to be dotted with these, but they are becoming more and more rare as draining becomes a more regular practice. As well, there's a virus hitting them right now.
Oh boy, and they're up against it.
Yeah, and they're very susceptible to like pesticides or insecticides in the water system as well.
When a species is designated a species of concern, what does that mean? Are we at risk of losing them?
Yeah.
What's the degree here?
Yeah, so the tiger salamander is considered special concern. So it is a federal listing. So it is a species at risk. So it goes special concern, threatened, endangered, extinct. So
never good to be on the list.
Yes, never good to be on the list. It is the lowest category, but we definitely don't want it to get higher, especially because they are at the heart of their range here in Saskatchewan.
So what can we do?
So yeah, if you see one, you can always report them to Nature Saskatchewan. So we do have a toll-free hotline. We call it our hoot line. So that's 1-800-667-4668. Or you can email me directly at outreach@naturesask.ca.
Where are they most abundant? Where are we seeing most of them?
So right across the prairie landscape, you might find them if you live rurally in your shop or in your basement. In urban areas, they'd be in anywhere that's kind of a wet meadow, so anywhere that has that moisture. Right now, all the young of the year, all the juveniles are on the move looking for new homes, so they are out and about and crossing roads.
Are we creating? Well, that's one thing, right? We got to make sure that they make it safely, and a lot of communities have made tunnels underneath or so forth to keep them safe. How do we keep them going here? Because we don't want them on that list.
Yeah, so you can avoid, if you know that there's salamanders in the water system, you can avoid spraying for aquatic insects. They do eat a lot of larvae of the aquatic pest insects. So
add a few of them and make it a natural.
Yeah, they take care of it anyways, so you don't need to spray if you know they're there. As well, they are crossing the road this time of year, so if you do see one and it's safe to do so, slow down and avoid them. They're not fast and they can't see very well. So
not like a gopher, we're not swerving to hit them. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes, Emily.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's go to mixed doubles action at the U.S. Open featuring Gael Monfils, who is teaming up with his wife, Alina Svitolina. And look at the defense from the 39-year-old. He's gone from the screen. Here comes the tennis ball. Gets back into position and rips the forehand winner down the baseline. Gael taking a bow for that. Tennis fans are going to miss this Monfils magic as the Frenchman is retiring at the end of the year. He and Svitolina won in 3 sets to advance to Wednesday's semifinal. And that is your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, the Tempo look to get back in the win column as they visit the league-worst Seattle Storm. Coverage begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
The 1988 regular season ended with celebration for the Riders, and not just because they finally made the playoffs after several years. The Riders faced the other Rough Riders from Ottawa at the time in their final regular season matchup. On this play, the Green Riders quarterback Tom Burgess hit Jeff Fairholm for his 10th touchdown of the season. Then backup quarterback Jeff Bentrim would find Tim McRae for a 13-yard touchdown pass, making the score 38-11 for Saskatchewan. Later on, Eddie Ray Walker would get through and block a punt, and Mike Magruder would turn it into the end zone for another major. To cap it off, Dave Ridgway would add the point after, his 215th of the season, which at the time was a CFL record. It was a huge win for the Riders because it secured their first playoff spot in 12 years. And fans and players were excited, especially for Dave Ridgway, in front of that old CKCK TV microphone.
You know, it's nice to be in the playoffs. It's nice to be in the playoffs, and, you know, let's keep it going now. We needed to get a win, get back on track.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
All right, let's go back out to Janelle Lipai having no fun at Echo Valley Provincial Park. JL?
All right, well, Shelly and I are all geared up. We went from bouncy castles with really bad helmet hair, might I add, to now some paddle boarding, which we're going to show you in just a little bit. Shelly, everybody wants to come out and enjoy these last few days, hopefully maybe even a little bit more of warm weather before the summer ends, and paddle boarding is a great way to do that. How can they find you guys? What do you offer? Do you offer life jackets, the paddle boards? What comes with this?
So, unfortunately, we do not have paddle boards for rent. However, we do have a life jacket loaner station here at Echo Valley Provincial Park. It is located on the Echo Beach side. So yes, guests are able to come, borrow a life jacket for the day, and then return it. In terms of paddleboard safety, I think it's important for us to discuss that a little bit because we do see a lot of people that purchase them from local stores, make their way from Regina out to the park and forget a few safety devices. So regulations do require us to wear these personal flotation devices. We also need to have a throw bag in case someone has to tow us back, and then a whistle for a signaling device in case we need some help.
All right, so all very important stuff to make sure that you are enjoying this summer very, very safely. Now, we're about to get onto the paddle boards. Of course, through the magic of television, you can see us doing that right now. What is the technique to paddle boarding? Because I personally have never gone.
Well, I would think the best technique is to choose a beautiful morning like today. It does certainly help when the water is mirror-like, so we've got that on our side. And then after that, I think balance is key. We will work with you, Janelle, and get you up on your feet, and I'm looking forward to having a great paddle out there this morning.
All right, Shelly, well, this has been the most wonderful morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, it's always nice having you guys at the park, and can't wait to see you back next time.
We're so excited to come back, and once again, that is Echo Valley Provincial Park. So many things to do, tons of activities to help you enjoy these last few weeks of summer.
Dolly Parton's friends and collaborators mourning the country superstar's passing. In a statement to ABC News, Linda Ronstadt writing, "I am deeply saddened by the passing of my friend Dolly Parton. One of the most extraordinary musical experiences of my life was recording with her." Comedian Lily Tomlin, who starred alongside Parton and Jane Fonda in the film 9 to 5, shared a photo with Parton captioned, "No words." The music icon star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame overflowing with tributes. Parton was 80 years old. Former Downton Abbey star Dan Stevens will suit up to serve the public trust in a new RoboCop series for Prime Video. The original RoboCop came out in 1987 and was followed by 2 movie sequels and a 2014 remake.
These people could be killers.
Only Murders in the Building will return with new episodes before the end of the year. Season 6 of the mystery series, dubbed Only Murders in London, will premiere on Hulu December 8th and follow the characters as they solve a case across the pond. Disney is a parent company of Hulu and ABC News. And happy birthday to Keke Palmer, who turns 33 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
Today we are falling in love with a very special cat that's broken a world record. ABC's Danny New has the story.
This is Erebus, and he's now sitting with a Guinness World Record in tow.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 on this one.
With 8 toes on one paw and 7 on all the others, this Maine Coon has 29 toes, breaking the 28-toe record that has stood since 2002. And he's being quite humble about the whole thing.
Very relaxing to be a world record holder.
Right.
He's like, it's just another day for him.
A little Polly baby girl.
His parents, Kendra and Hunter, own a breeding cattery in Wisconsin called Blue Northern Maine Coons.
Good boy, too.
But his biological parents, specifically Dad, can help explain the historic appendages. His father, Senzano, has 6 toes on each paw, coming to a total of 24. The normal amount for a cat is 18.
Dad is from Russia and Mom is from here in the U.S. He's doing really good. He's eating, drinking.
But what really sets Erebus apart is the fight he put up earlier this year after suffering from pneumonia and an aspiration event only a few months after he was born in March. For the record, Kendra says this was unrelated to the toes.
Hey, baby. Erebus.
But Erebus even had to spend time in an oxygen machine, and Kendra says the vets told her his outlook did not look good.
Would you call that a miraculous recovery?
I would say that's definitely a miraculous recovery because his lungs they're supposed to be black. They were completely white.
But just a few months later, they say his lungs look completely normal now. So does that mean Erebus will soon be heading to a new home?
He's staying with us.
Erebus is named after the Greek god of darkness because of his shadowy colored fur, but obviously the comparison stopped there. No way someone who napped in the sunshine for our entire 30-minute interview could be the god of darkness. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
29 toes.
Do you want to tell viewers what you just said during that story?
29 toes. I said 29 toes. You should appreciate this.
Okay, I was looking at something on my phone during that story, and Daryl was freaking out. 29 toes, 29 toes. He says to me, you should care about this story, weird foot freak woman. I have weird feet.
Again, that's not what I said.
Yes, that's exactly what you said.
I said you freak foot. Let's get over to our kickers for today.
I do have very weird feet.
Man, this is my life. World's largest food fight is back. We like each other. Don't email us. It's Buñuel, Spain. This is La Tomatina. It's a festival where they whip tomatoes at each other for a full hour, Kayleen. Let's go.
Yeah, one of your favorite stories of the year.
Let's go. It started in the 40s as a tourist attraction. 20,000 people will go. It starts and ends with a cannon blast. This is a lot of tomatoes. They're undesirable tomatoes. They're the ones that don't sell to grocery stores.
Okay, so it's not.
So it's not just. It's not just total. Yeah.
So fun fact.
These are the freak tomatoes.
I actually am allergic to tomatoes mildly. I get a rash. Yeah. I still eat them. I like pizza. I like spaghetti. It's just that I'll get a bit of a rash.
Hates mayo though.
What do you think would happen if I went to this festival and instead of eating it, I just kind of bathed in it? Like, how bad would that be?
That would be a lot of calamine lotion, I think.
I don't think you'll catch me at this.
Some sort of an EpiPen.
This festival.
It was just like a Nerf gun full of EpiPens to get you back to normal. Yikes. Well, that looks like a lot of fun. Thank you for all of whatever that just was. We're going to take a time out for about 21 hours, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, I think, with more.